A shocking discovery is where we begin tonight. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Caroline Kramer.
Good evening, and I'm Clay Webster. After discovering human remains yesterday, state officials are now investigating. OU Nightly's Michael Buchanan starts our team coverage of the discovery and is live on campus where those remains were found. Michael.
I'm at the site of the future OU Life Sciences building. That's where crews made the discovery yesterday. Yeah, and our very own Gracie Steinbrink is going to continue our coverage tonight. She spoke with archaeologists about what the investigation holds. Gracie?
Yeah, Michael, that's the question everybody is asking. It's what's next? The Education and Operations Director at the Oklahoma Museum of Osteology told us about the process when handling human remains. She says a forensic anthropologist will come in to analyze the bones, trying to figure out age and sex, which can help you determine next of kin. They also look for clues like what is found with the remains and how they're buried. Evidence of injuries like unhealed wounds, which would have happened at the time of death. OU cannot continue building the new science building until the investigation is over. OU Nightly will keep you updated on this discovery. Caroline, Clay, back to you.
Gracie, thank you. And in continuing coverage, the former owner of a local liquor store admitted to possessing child pornography.
We first brought you this story in October when University Liquor owner Kayvon Karya Russell Connie was raided by the FBI. According to the U.S. District Attorney, the FBI seized a cell phone that contained child pornography.
Yesterday evening, Russell Connie admitted to having child pornography after he was caught by an underage agent trying to solicit sex for minors. Russell Connie faces up to 20 years in prison and a fine up to $250,000.
Well, after a long week of fire danger and warm temps, you might have noticed a big cool down today.
And those cool temps will continue into the weekend. Our Aiden Bruns joins us with a look at those temps. Aiden?
Yeah, guys, when I walked out the door this morning, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cold. We had feels like temperatures in the teens, and temperatures this morning were air temperatures were in the mid to upper 20s. So way different than we've had the last couple of days. We've been spoiled so far this entire month. Current temperatures, however, looking pretty seasonably average. However, again, much chillier than what we've been used to after some 70s and 80s. Across the state, we're sitting at 52 right now here in Norman. We've got 40s up in the northern parts of the state. So what a crazy difference from earlier this week. But if you are heading out tonight, you're definitely going to need a layer or two. Definitely bring that jacket, even if you've just got a quick walk to take, because we're going to be in the 40s even by sundown and getting into the upper 30s later by 10 o'clock this evening. So Friday night plans are going to be some cold Friday night plans. As for the rest of your forecast, though, we're going to check on the current fire update. It's looking to be calming down. However, we will break it down for you as well as how long this cold is going to last. But we did get some news that a fire has broke out near Little Axe, just south of Highway 9 and Lake Thunderbird. So I'm going to send it to Clay for the latest details on that. Clay?
That's right, Aiden. We do know that Norman fire units are responding to that fire in Little X, but as of around 4 p.m., that fire was contained, and fire crews are working to put out hot spots in the area.
And first responders are on the scene of a multi-vehicle crash in South Norman. According to the Norman Fire, 2 vehicles collided on State Highway 9 and 120th Avenue Southeast. 1 person was taken to the hospital. Coming up on OU Nightly, a royal scandal is unfolding overseas. Former Prince Andrew arrested, and tonight the fallout could have a historic consequence.
And the Supreme Court rules on the Trump administration's sweeping tariffs. Find out what the president says he will do in response next.
Sorry for the technical difficulties. We will be going back to Michael Buchanan, who is on campus. Michael?
Yeah, I wanted to provide some context and historical information about the site behind me where crews discovered those human remains yesterday. The state medical examiner's office says the current investigation is non-forensic, meaning they've determined the remains are not associated with a crime. The ME has since referred the case to the State Archaeological Survey. In a statement, the university says the remains most likely date back to the early 1900s. The remains were found in an area of campus with a long medical and research history. Roughly 50 yards from the site, Ellison Hall first opened in the late 1920s. It previously housed the campus infirmary. Also nearby, construction crews tore down Sutton Hall last winter to make room for the current project. Sutton housed life sciences classrooms and laboratories for medical research. These photos from the Oklahoma Historical Society provide some insight into what the area of campus looked like in that time period. It'll take time and further investigation to fully understand the circumstances surrounding this case. Yeah, I'm going to step out of the way where you can see crews are still investigating the situation. We'll continue to follow this as it develops. Clay, back to you.
Thank you, Michael. Well, a new development could be coming soon to the east side of Norman. Perfect Swing, a family fun center, closed in 2010 following a tornado. The 32 acres of land the property sits on have remained unused since then. Hunter Miller, the son-in-law of former Sooner football coach Barry Switzer, purchased the land. Miller owns a company specializing in commercial development. The land is zoned for residential and commercial use. The plans for the area have not yet been announced.
President Trump is threatening to take action after the Supreme Court rules against his tariff policies. Sutton Parker has that and the rest of today's national and international headlines from the News Center.
We begin in Washington, where today the Supreme Court ruled that President Trump's tariffs are illegal. The court says the power to enact sweeping tariffs must be granted by Congress. President Trump is now warning that he'll take alternative action.
Other alternatives will now be used to replace the ones that the court incorrectly rejected. We have alternatives, great alternatives.
With the ruling in place, it's now unclear what will happen to the tariff revenue already collected. In London, police searched the home of former Prince Andrew today. This comes after he was arrested yesterday on suspicion of misconduct in having shared confidential trade information with Jeffrey Epstein. The British government is now considering formally removing him from the line of succession to the crown, which can only be done through legislative action. And President Trump is learning that limited strikes on Iran are possible in the next few days. The United States is continuing to build up forces in the region. The president says he will consider strikes if Iran does not agree to curb its nuclear weapon program. Top diplomats in Tehran say they are close to reaching a deal. And Eric Dane, the actor known for his work on Grey's Anatomy, died last night at the age of 53. Clay, Caroline.
Up next, police go undercover in a way you've probably never heard of or seen before, swapping badges for lion costumes.
How this creative operation turned a colorful festival into a surprise arrest. Next on OU Nightly.
Temperatures took a massive dip this afternoon, and it's going to continue into the weekend, so I'll let you know how long you're going to need to keep the colder weather gear out. We'll keep that up after the break. Welcome back to OU Nightly, everyone. Happy Friday. It has been a crazy week with wildfires across the entire state of Oklahoma, and I've got an update about where we're sitting right now. The Ranger Road fire has become 20% contained. It was 15 yesterday, so we have made some progress on that, but over 283,000 acres have burned with that fire. Stevens, well, we've got 60% contained right now, and the side road one as well, 75% contained. So we have made some progress on this, and the good news is conditions have become more favorable to decrease that fire weather. Taking a look outside right now, well, we've got pretty sunny skies. I mean, it's colder out there. I'm sure everyone's noticed that with current temperatures staying at 52 degrees right now here in Norman. The wind has decreased. However, dew point is still low, but since the air temperature is also lower, we have picked up in that relative humidity category. But heading out tomorrow, here's what you need to know. much cooler again. This is seasonable for this time of year here in Oklahoma. 52 is roughly an average for us. So we're right on the mark with that, but it is going to be cold if you're heading out the door tomorrow for some Saturday morning plans, and even the rest of the day, you're definitely going to need to layer up with that. But I'm sure lots of you have been struggling with these allergies, the dry weather. It didn't really just affect the fires, but the allergies as well. Trees are at that very high level today. Mold on the low side, but the cedar trees are really what's getting everybody. So just make sure you're taking your proper precautions. Everyone knows that that's what it gets to this time of year in Oklahoma, and the winds haven't really helped with that. We're going to decrease from the crazy wind gusts we saw the last couple of days. But heading into Saturday, still going to be upwards of 30 miles per hour. It's going to be out of the north, which has helped make those temperatures so much cooler. So we'll get a little bit of a decrease heading into your Saturday evening and Sunday. So that's some good news with that. More of that typical Oklahoma wind that we're used to this time of year and the rest of the season. But future wind chills are going to change as well with these cooler temperatures and the winds. So heading out the door tomorrow morning in the 20s for what it's going to feel like. Very chilly. Sunday, again, a similar story. With those winds, that's pretty much what happens every time we get those cold fronts to move through. So just keep that in mind. We'll get to warm up little bit by bit after this cold front moves through this weekend. But the rain outlook is not looking great. So we are still on the dry side, near normal, but we don't really get too much rain this time of year as well. So we're definitely going to look out for that because fire weather is expected to increase heading into later next week. Monday, we're at an elevated risk, but near critical for Tuesday here in Norman. So we are going to be forecasting that and keeping our eyes on it, because it could be a similar story all over again from this week to next week. As for your 7-day forecast, though, here we go. 50s, 50s, 50s. The sun will be peeking out, so that's some good news. When you feel the sun out, it feels a little bit better, but then temperatures warm back up heading into next week, which is also part of what makes that fire risk go up, guys. But as for now, you definitely do need the jacket out.
Yes, it sounds like a perfect night for movies.
Right, yes, stay inside, bundle up. It's that time of year where you get every season in the span of 2 weeks in Oklahoma. And what can you do?
I agree. Well, thank you. When the police were having trouble catching a serial burglar who kept slipping through their fingers, they decided to get creative.
Officers went undercover as part of a traditional lion dance at a Lunar New Year festival. Video shows the lion dancing towards the suspect before pouncing and taking him to the ground.
Police say the suspect later confessed to multiple burglaries, proof that sometimes fighting crime takes a little lion-sized bravery. The last time these two teams met, it ended in a legendary tie-break matchup, OU beating them by just one score.
But the Sooners have one event that's the ace up their sleeve. Find out what it is in Big Friday Sports.
Welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Michael Thompson. That is Oliver Schaefer, and it's time for sports, but not just any sports, Big Friday sports.
And it doesn't get much bigger than the top two women's gymnastics squads going head-to-head tonight right at the Lloyd Noble Center, which is where we find OU Nightly's Chris Holman.
Oliver, the Sooners took down the Tigers in the tiebreaker earlier this year, and they've only improved since then, especially on the vault with 2 perfect 10s in their last 2 meets, and head coach KJ Kindler knows how good that squad can be.
That vault squad is killer. I mean, when they are on and when they are not on, even with a step, this team is clean. Free spraying them in that post flight, their legs are glued together. Really proud of the job that vault squad has done. Coach Lou Ball has been meticulous on vault and definitely has high expectations, and they are rising to meet them.
Last season, OU's only 2 losses both came to LSU, but we're in Baton Rouge in the SEC Championship. This time, they take on the Tigers right here behind me, and that meet's scheduled to start at 7:45. Oliver, back to you.
OU women's hoops traveled into Athens to take on the number 24 ranked Dogs last night. Georgia didn't go away without a fight, but a late 3 by Sahara Williams and some clutch free throws from Reagan Beers down the stretch hushed the Athens crowd, as true freshman Aaliyah Chavez led the way with 27 points, which is her 6th 25-point game of the year. Chavez, however, credits her team for her success.
I mean, at the beginning when my team trusted me to make those shots and they trusted me to have the ball in my hand, So I just knew that it was my night to make sure that I made the right play for my team, and if that was me shooting, then I had to shoot it for us. I mean, you can see we're growing each and every day, in each and every game, and I think going into practice, we're going to be prepared when we play Tennessee this Sunday.
2016 was a historic season for OU men's basketball, and Buddy Hield was at the center of their Final Four run. The sharpshooter is currently 15th all-time in three-pointers made in NBA history, and on Saturday, his number 24 will be retired in front of the whole 2015-16 OU squad. The Texas A&M, they look to spoil Buddy Hield's special day. While he took that 2018 squad to the Final Four, 10 years later, the Sooners look for their 4th SEC win. Closing games has been an issue in conference play for Porter Moser, and that continued in Knoxville. OU cut the lead to 6 with 6 minutes to play, but were outscored 26-9 over the final 8 minutes. Porter Moser wasn't pleased with his team's performance on Wednesday, but he had nothing but praise for Buddy Buckets.
You know, he's got that great ability to be off the floor, to be just a gem of a human being, just like a great guy. And then on the floor, he's a killer. You know, I just think he's one of the all-time greats to ever wear the uniform, and it's great that we're honoring him and that he gets his jersey retired.
The OKC Thunder take on the Brooklyn Nets tonight at 7. They will be without 3 key players, including reigning MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who will be reevaluated next Thursday, and Jalen J-Dub Williams, who will be reevaluated in 2 weeks. High school teams all across the country are taking to the diamond, but for one local high school, it means more this time around.
After an accident off the field rocked their world, hear about their comeback nearly half a year in the making. Coming up.
Well, welcome back to Big Friday Sports. I mean, it's been a chilly couple of days, and baseball starts tonight in the Diamond here at OU. They've got temperatures pretty chilly tonight and heading into tomorrow and Sunday. We're looking at colder temperatures, 49 for when that first pitch is tomorrow against Coppin State, 40 for Sunday morning at 11. So definitely make sure you're bundled up. You will need the sunglasses because thankfully it will be pretty sunny out there, but definitely keep that in mind if you're headed out for weekend plans or the baseball game this weekend.
Welcome back to Big Friday Sports. Swing is almost in swing, and with it comes the Swing Sooners on the diamond. Michael, what's on deck for baseball?
Well, OU baseball is currently playing their home opener against Coppin State. Sooner ace Cam Johnson on the bump, but Nelson Grajales hits this RBI single for the early lead. The Oklahoma offense would waste no time responding. Right fielder Nolan Stevens drops this one into center. 2 runs score. Sooners up 5-1 after the 5th inning.
To softball, Sooners vs. Titans. This game was full of fireworks as Pensacola product Alyssa Parker homers and gets a start on the bump. It would be Gabby Garcia who played hero with a walk-off single on the bottom of the 8th to take down Cal State Fullerton 6-5. San Diego State, up late, ain't no problem for the Sooners at the plate. Kendall Wells started the scoring, then went back to the well as she homered again in the 4th. OU only needed 5 innings to take the nightcap and looked to keep the momentum rolling after a late night.
I think we're semi-delirious right now, but they are swinging the bats very well. Miley's throwing really well. So we're deliriously playing well.
Patty Gasso could have her team playing anytime, any planet, probably Mars, and they'd stay ready, Oliver. OU's playing Duke right now, and they lead 6-1, and they will continue the Mary Nutter Classic Saturday with a doubleheader at noon and 2:30 p.m. Then the Sooners will close out their time in Cali on Sunday at 11 a.m. against the Huskies of Washington.
Oklahoma High School slow pitch softball is also gearing up for spring ball. OU Nightly sports reporter Peyton Davis has the comeback story of one team that has overcome adversity and is ready for their first pitch in over 5 months. Peyton?
September 8th, 2025, a day the town of Minko will remember forever. A routine trip to a softball game turned into a nightmare when the team's bus rolled over, leaving 6 injured and an entire community holding its breath. In the days that followed, the field sat still, but months later, the sound of cheers from the dugout returned, and the team is ready to take on slow pitch season, an opportunity that both players and coaches know is a chance to inspire others.
I hope they're inspired that we pushed through something really hard, and a lot of us at some point didn't know if we wanted to play again or could even play again or coach again. So I hope we are a little bit of an inspiration to, you know, every generation, the older generation, the young kids coming up, that you get to play a sport, don't take it for granted, and just enjoy life.
While the physical injuries were visible, It was the emotional impact that affected this team the most. But through it all, the team leaned on each other, forming an unbreakable bond that will carry them through the season.
The mental side has been really, really hard, I think, for all of us. Sleeping was hard, still is sometimes, but we've stuck together. Like, we've cried together, we laughed together, we joked together, so we've done everything together, and I think that's been really the biggest part of healing mentally.
The team being like bonded together for life, it's honestly just like the whole aspect of how everyone has come together and how everyone can level each other out and pick each other up on the bad days and the good days. I mean, we're just a big family now.
Every pitch thrown and every swing taken carries a little bit more weight this season, not because of the pressure to win, but because playing again is something they once thought they weren't going to get to do. They can't change what happened, but this team can control what comes next. And what comes next is a season built on resilience.
March 2nd is our opening game. It's slow pitch, and it'll be the first time we step back on a field. I know our goal as a team is to make state, win state, but my personal goal is to just enjoy the season because we kind of see how it can change in literally a split second. So just enjoy being out here.
The Minko Bulldogs will take the field at home on March 2nd at 4:30 p.m., a first pitch that will be felt by all in attendance. Reporting from Minko, Oklahoma, Peyton Davis, OU Nightly.
Thank you, Peyton. It is a jam-packed weekend of Sooner sports. Now, track and field, they take on Arkansas today. Top-ranked men's gymnastics will battle it out in the Winter Cup on Saturday. Men's and women's tennis will be in action this weekend with the men on Saturday and the women on Sunday.
It's a bird, it's a plane, it's a boogie bomb. I had the chance to compete in the Greek Home Run Derby, and let me just say, if the competition was based on the prettiest swing award, I think I would have won it pretty handedly.
Oliver, I think I've seen toddlers with more coordination than you, but hey, but Skip Johnson had some praise for you, no?
Yeah, he said I had the prettiest hands on my swing he's ever seen, so look for me maybe on a diamond near you soon.
I can say they could be using you down there right now. I mean, you know, they're doing all right, but hey, it never hurts to have a boogie on your team, no?
It does not, and you know, if you need a third baseman, Skip, you know where to find me. Call me anytime, I'm there, I'm your guy.
Hey, well, it's a good weekend right now. Softball won 11-6 as well, so good weekend so far for the Sooners, right?
Yeah, amazing weekend for the Sooners, and it's just starting.
Well, thank you so much for watching Big Friday Sports. For Oliver Boogie home run hitting Schaefer, I'm Michael Thompson. We'll see you next week.